Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to my playthrough of Elite Dangerous. This is a series that I like to call Endeavour. So here you can see I finally got a Type 9. This is on my PlayStation 4 save, of course, so yeah, the progress has been not extensively fast, but I'm getting there. It's one of my favourite ships actually, not in terms of flight, which is actually one of my worst ships, but in terms of design and in terms of the bridge. Look at the size of the bridge in there. You get a bit of an indication of what it's like. If you play this in VR, you get a very good indication of the size. It actually feels like a warehouse in there at the least, in terms of the space there. The two other seats down to the left and right. So yeah, I've made quite a bit of money, mostly through community goals, fortunately. The recent ones here in Sergeant Market, there's been 3 in fact, and the third one is just coming to an end. Oh, we just got an update to one of my other games there. Hellblade, if you ever get a chance to play it, it's probably one of the best games released for a very, very long time. I don't know if you saw that notification actually come up or not. Yeah, as I was saying, we got in the middle of a community goal here. This is the third iteration there. You can see the third chapter house appeal. The combat one I actually haven't done anything on at the moment. You can see it's about to come to a conclusion. It may make it in the last 4 hours or it may not. I don't yet know. I imagine there's quite a few people trying to push out that. But we're going to try and give that a bit of a go. Look, there's 6 million sitting there waiting to be claimed just in case. And with my Type 9 here, I've actually made quite a bit of money, nearly 60 million credits. It's possible to make 2.5 million credits per run on this community goal, or at least it was before it completed, and it took about 10 to 15 minutes to do a run. I'm not particularly fast in it, and the ship hasn't got a great jump range. I haven't engineered that yet. So that meant that 10 to 12 million an hour, maybe a little bit more on top of the nice bonus I'm about to get here. Made it to the top 25%. Not a huge amount of play, took a few hours, but I played that here and there across the previous week. So there you can see another 30 million about to enter my bank account. And I'm going to pick that up right now. And then we'll have a think about what we want to do next. So let's head on into the community's goal there. So I noticed recently there's been a few comments around the internet where, oh, we're about to run out of battery. We're getting plenty of notifications here. Give me a minute and we'll sort that out. So there's been there's been a few comments I've noticed around the internet lately saying that people have struggled to make money in Elite Dangerous. Other people find it very, very easy. There, we're connected up now on USB power. Hopefully that's going to keep me powered up. And yeah, not everyone's aware of the community goals here. I've made a few videos on them before, and I know not everyone will have watched all the videos, but be aware that when you go to a mission board, you do have the community goals at the top. Well worth checking out, because as you saw, you can make quite a bit of money in a relatively short amount of time. So yeah, let's complete that and get ourselves a bit of extra money. So there we are, 88 million. Not sure where I am in terms of total assets at the moment. Let's see if we can have a look there. Current assets, 205 million. So quite a bit higher than I was actually thinking. Now, I haven't got too many ships. You may remember a little while ago I purchased an Orca. I actually sold that off so I could get enough money together to buy the Type 9. And also sold the Type 7, because it's a bit pointless having a Type 7 when you've got a Type 9. And the Type 6 has also gone. So now I've got, 3 ships here. We've got my Viper, which has been somewhat modified in terms of engineering. We got the Diamondback and the Type 9 that I'm flying at the moment. And my 2 other smaller ships elsewhere, which I doubt whether I'll be using anytime soon again. So I think what I'm going to do is have a very quick jump into the Viper here. And go and do a bit of combat. And it's time perhaps to think about changing this ship actually for something a bit better. On my main account on the PC, I tend to fight mostly in a Vulture, and I've got that quite heavily modified with engineering modules, and it's very, very fast with maneuverability. Got dirty drives on that, and it does a great job. So Oh, it's a bit late for you with this community goal to actually figure out what's going on here, but we've got to do a bit of bounty hunting, and you can certainly use this for other community goals in the future. Now, the thing that's been a bit strange about these set here is that for most people, when they like to do a bit of bounty hunting, they go into ring systems where there's resource extraction sites, because generally you find quite a lot of pirates in those places. But for resource extraction sites, you need ring systems, which means either a ringed planet or usually a gas giant with rings. But as you can see in this system, there isn't any. Now, fortunately, there is a way around that. You can go into the... Well, there's two ways around it in the system. You can go to the nav beacon, or you can interdict ships, but that's all a bit slow going, and nav beacons aren't always the best for when it comes to bounty hunting. So what you might want to find is to go to the galaxy map and look for a system that's actually under the control of the same faction. And I know from memory, because I've been doing it here, that this system, if we drop into here, this system, if we look over on the left there, it says controlling faction is Chapter House of Inquisition. And interestingly enough, that is also the same faction that controls the station that's running the community goal, or the same faction that is running the community goal itself. So, yep, we can head on over to that system. We can get involved in some bounty hunting there, and the bounty hunting vouchers will be good for this CG. So we're going to go over there now, and I'll catch you there in just a moment. We're coming up on the resource extraction site then, and as you can notice, I'm actually going for one of the high-level resource extraction sites, and I'm only in a Viper. But they're not too difficult unless you take on something like an FTL. FTLs will probably annihilate me pretty quickly, but you never know. Things tend to vary quite extensively in here. And although it's not really a method I like, I tend not to go into high-level ones. I tend to stick to either the regular ones or the low ones in a ship like this. But I want to show this because it is an option, and some people do like to do it. And I guess as soon as the game supports it, it is a valid option. If you come in here, you can get a lot of support from the local authority, from the police sites, from the police or the military. What they'll do is when you get involved in combat, they will actually help you out and take on the opponent for you. And as long as you get enough damage in, you'll also get the full bounty on that ship without having to entirely destroy it for yourself. So, yeah, like I say, it feels a little bit like cheating in some ways, but it is an option if you want to do it. It's not something I tend to normally do, but well, let's have a look how it goes. You may have noticed the variation in quality of ring systems here. This one's got very thick dust in it. Makes it look quite nice in appearance. So what you've got here. Now we've got a Python. This one is looking like it might be a pirate. Oh no, it's clean. It's coming into mine. Okay. I was hoping we'd be able to get to take on a Python there, because a Python would be a fairly good reward. Only trouble is with some of these resource extraction sites, it takes quite a while for anything to spawn. Oh, we got a clipper here. Shield of Justice, that's probably going to be clean. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to wait a little while. Okay, so here we are, first target. This one, a Viper Mark IV, and he is elite. So I'm expecting this to be a fairly difficult fight, and I may not survive it. Let's wait for him to... And keep in mind, I may not survive it because I'm not particularly brilliant at combat. Not always because this is difficult. But I have been improving. Let's see if you notice any difference in combat skills here. So now he's past us. Let's give it a go. So it looks like he's coming under attack from someone else. As I said, sometimes you will get assistance from the local authority forces. And they're doing a good job of taking him down, look. I was hoping to actually get a few more shots in there before they took him on. But there you go. So, being elite, we might get a decent reward for him. Is he going to pop? There we go. So, yeah, 50,000 credits. That's actually quite a nice reward. So the reward we get for the community goal is actually based on the amount of bounty vouchers we actually get. So the higher amount we actually earn, the higher the reward entry we're going to get is. But again, there's not too much in the way of ships around here, unfortunately. This might be one we can take on. Let's go get Drag. He's probably going to turn towards us any minute now and start scanning. So, as I was saying early on, I think it's time to really start looking for a new combat ship at some point. Most likely going to be a Vulture, as that's the next tier up. One of them A-spec costs around about 20 million or so, maybe a little bit more. So we've easily got enough money for that. And this ship here is manoeuvring around quite well, isn't he? Oh, crikey. Getting a bit of ramming going on there. Let's see if we can get those shields charged back up again. Okay, so flying all over the place there. I'm going to have a quick look to see what... nothing there. What materials are actually available. Actually got quite a lot of materials now. The store here is filling right up, but probably with quite a few things I don't actually want. Arsenic was perhaps one of the most pain in the butt things to find, but I managed to get quite a bit. I'm going to use that for my grade 5 FSD upgrades. So the best places to come for in terms of combat really are the Hazres sites. You pretty much get an unended supply of ships to actually attack in those places, and yeah, they're one of my favourite, and I spend quite a lot of time there in, or at least recently I have, in my Vulture. Combat's not the sort of thing I've always spent my time doing in Elite, but well, with the PlayStation version of the game being released, I've come to enjoy a lot of new content or old content that I've tended to ignored or gone by. Oh, his ship, it shields down. Another ship I'm actually looking for is either a Federal assault ship or a Federal gunship, but it does require a Federal rank, and I haven't got anything. I haven't got any rank just yet in the Federation, so it's something I'm going to need to spend a bit of time building up. But there are ways to quickly and effectively do that, so that's something we'll go through either, well, probably in another video, although there might be room for it later on in this video. We'll see how it goes, depending on how much credits I can actually earn here. Right then, back towards the station. We've got nearly 500,000 credits here, so that should be enough to get us a fairly decent position on the community gold here. And then we got something planned for next. I'm going to have a look at the Federation rank. It's actually pretty much unranked at the moment, I think. Very green here, isn't it? So let's hand in the bounties in. Just shy of 500,000, I think, like I say. Got a few quite good ships there in the end. But I didn't want to spend too much of the video showing you combat, otherwise we've got an entire video just focused on that. I don't think that's going to be too much fun. So yeah, 440,000. I don't know if that'll take me beyond the top 100%. Might do, if I'm lucky. Nope, that's a bit unfortunate. I was hoping to get into the top 75%, but I guess I'm just a little bit short of that. Still, there you go. I'm not going to spend any more time out there. I would have liked the extra 5 million that comes along with doing that. But there you go. Worth a try. Right, so where are we? Federal rank. is none. My Imperial rank is also none. And what we're going to do is start getting one of those ranks up. I want to get prepared for one of my next combat ships. I think the next one will be the Vulture, but the one after that will be one of the Federal ships. And for that we're going to need a rank. So let's have a look. Where are we going to go? To get the rank, there's a fairly good setup. You can get it quite fast there. Some people perhaps consider it a little bit of an exploit, but personally I don't, and I don't want to spend a huge amount of time actually doing this. So yeah, most of you probably know already where I'm going to go. It's going to be Sothis. Let's assuming I've spelled that right. Quite a distance away though, at 580 light years. But not a problem. I should have probably plotted the course after I'd swapped out to my Diamondback. So let's get in that ship, do it now, replot the course, and we'll see how far we got to go. And then we'll head on over there. Any moment now. Right, so 50 jumps. That was in the Viper. A bit too long. I don't fancy doing 50 jumps. I can really see why people get a little bit fed up when they've got to travel across from one side of the inhabited bubble to another, especially when they haven't got a vessel with a high jump range. 50 jumps for a few hundred light years is a bit excessive. And you can see 15 in the Diamondback. That's far better. You can still do with a bit of improvement on here. 43 light years, we can probably get that closer to 50 if I'm willing to experiment a bit more with a few more modifications. So that's something I'm also going to do at a later time. But for now, we're going to head over to Sothis and we'll have a look at improving the Federation rank a bit. New home station then. This is probably the main hub over here in Sothis, and as you saw, Sothis is around about 500 or so light years away from the centre of the core worlds here. And it's this aspect that's perhaps the most important. In fact, it's what makes places like Quince work as well. These systems are so far on the outskirts that many of the missions that are generated actually go to its neighbours. So here we've got Sothis, and next door we've got Seos, and beyond that there's no other inhabited systems for quite a distance. So any missions generated are generally to go between these two systems. There are of course some smuggling missions and some transportation missions amongst a few others, but they are fairly long distance missions, and so they also have quite a good payout, another advantage for coming out this far. Back before Quince was a thing, people used to come here and do smuggling runs between here and the central core systems, and they'd make themselves a significant amount of money. After that was Robigo. Robigo is another system that's quite a way out. And then, well, Quince started. And Quince is a method that people use to make themselves a heck of a lot of money. Now, some people consider it an exploit, other people say it's legitimate game mechanics. But whatever your take on it, Frontier are going to change things with patch 2.4 and Quince will no longer work. Essentially, what's going on over there though, is that you can stack yourself 20 missions and then complete them in a single bound. Get yourself 20 surface scan missions, for example, go down to the planet, scan just one base, and all the 20 missions will complete. The same story is true for Massacre missions, so essentially this means it's not unheard of to make 100 million credits in an hour, or maybe more. Like I say though, this is going away with patch 2.4. Once 2.4 arrives, the way it will work is that say you stack 20 missions again, 20 surface scan missions, and go down and complete that surface mission, it will only complete the first mission in the list. You'll actually need to complete the mission 20 separate times. However, that shouldn't affect places like Sothis, where we need to get 20 different missions and 20 different data packets. The point is that places like this though only exist because they are on the outskirts, and the mission system doesn't have a lot of targets to generate the missions for, as I mentioned. So whether or not you consider Sothis on the same level as Quince, I guess, is open to interpretation, but for now I'm going to use it anyway. Now, don't be mistaken, that this of course isn't anything new, and I'm not trying to say it actually is, but like I've said many times before, there's a whole load of new players in the game, and this of course is a brand new playthrough for me, so doing these things suits both the new playthrough and it also helps out the new players as well. Now, you never know how many missions you're actually going to get from a mission board like this. Sometimes it'll load up and you'll get just 1 or 2. Other times you'll find yourself with a dozen. It's all pretty random. But straight away, there's a data delivery mission, and you can see the destination target is Ceos, which is around about 9 light years away. It's pretty much the system right next door. On top of that, we only want to accept missions from Federation Unite here. These people are federal affiliated, which means anything that we contribute here, or any missions we complete here, will contribute towards our Federation rank. And what's great here is that the missions are very quick to complete. The journeys are very, very short, and we can stack a whole bunch of them, meaning that we can rank up fairly quickly. Now, unfortunately, though, as you can see here, there's only 1 mission available. The rest are going to different locations, or they're different types of missions. But at any rate, I'm going to accept just this single mission. Now, next up is something that really does divide opinions quite a bit. You can actually board hop here if you're so inclined. Basically, if you're in solo, then swap game mode, go into open. If you're in open, then swap game mode and go into solo. And basically, you should get a new set of missions there. Each game mode tends to generate its own set of missions, as long as it swaps server when it switches mode. But this is something I tend not to do unless I'm really pressed for time, or unless I'm a little bit frustrated and just want to try and get the exact mission I want. Otherwise, I'm going to do what I usually do, and that is just wait for the board to refresh. And the board refreshes every 10 to 15 minutes or so, and it's about to tick over any moment now. So yep, the mission board has refreshed. There was a whole bunch more missions here. I've taken a few already. There's 1 more left. And if you want, you could keep on sitting here for it to refresh again and take more. But it really depends on how long you want to sit around for. So we got 1 more mission there. I don't think there's any others. Let's just have a look down the bottom. Just curious whether or not, had I the reputation, I might be able to pick up more, but apparently not. So let's just get on with the missions we've got then. Nothing here actually worth doing. Right, so we got 5 in all there. And the other system, like you can see, is very, very close by. So these don't take long at all. Now what will happen is every time you complete one of these missions, you will get a bit of a reputation increase. But this is all old news. Many of you no doubt know all this. Long-term players will be well aware of this. But it is a very old method now. It's been in the game for a very long time. But there are a lot of new players to the game, and I'm sure quite a few of them are going to be totally unaware of it. So, yeah, as this is me playing through the game, it does bear worth mentioning again, I feel. Now, I'm not going to stay here too long. I'm not going to stay here until I'm some ultra high rank. I'm certainly not going to stay here all the way till Admiral. I'm just going to get a rank or 2 and then head off and do something else. And I'll probably come back here and do a bit more later. I've got no intent to stay out here and grind the ranks out. I really don't have the patience for that, and I certainly don't have the time to sit here and do that sort of play style. But it is an option. If you've got the time or the motivation or even the patience to do that, then you can certainly stay here and keep grinding away and end up with a fairly high rank. In fact, you can do it all the way to Admiral, although it will take quite a bit of time. I believe there are systems out there to do this for the Empire as well. It's not something I've actually done yet. I don't have much in the way of Empire rank on my other account, but I do have a reasonable rank for Federation. And that's just because I like the Federation ship. So yeah, it was New Dawn Station. We're going there now. And we can hand in those missions. So for those of you that are not aware then, you can see your ranks over here. I've got a rank of none on Federation and a rank of none on Empire. Now the rank I want, there's 14 ranks in all, or 15 if you count the rank I'm currently at, which is the rank of 0. The first rank that allows you to unlock a ship is Midshipman, which gets you the Federal dropship. You can then get Petty Officer after that, which doesn't unlock anything in terms of ships, but it does have a very nice unlock that I think quite a few people will want, and that is the Soul Permit. The permit that allows you to go and visit Earth, Mars and all the rest of the planets in our neighbourhood here. Where's pad 31? There you are. That's pad 32. Must be around here somewhere. Okay, so the rank after that is a Chief Petty Officer, and that's the one I want for the moment, which is the Federal Assault Ship. Making a bit of a hash over this, aren't I? I didn't see it when I come in. I hate it when they... Oh no! I hate these pads out right down near the entrance here. We can do it, it's not that difficult, especially in a ship like this. Right, there we go. Okay. Now most ranks after that do unlock various permits. Chief Petty Officer, like I say, gets you the Federal Assault Ship. It also gets you the system permit to Vega and Beta Hydrae. After that is Warrant Officer, which doesn't unlock any other ship, but it does unlock the system permit for PLX 695. I'm not sure why you would really want access to any of these systems. I've gone without actually visiting them ever before. But there you go. The following rank, that's rank 7, is Ensign. That gives you the Federal Gunship and the system permit for Ross 128. And then after that we got rank 8, rank 9, Lieutenant and Lieutenant Commander respectively. Rank 10 is Post Commander, rank 11 is Post Captain. And then the one everyone really wants, rank 12, is Rear Admiral, which gets you access to the Federal Corvette. So yeah, what a way to go. After that there's 2 more ranks, but they don't have any other unlocks. Vice Admiral and Admiral, so maybe for ships to come in the future. Let's hope. Right, we can hand in these two missions. It was 5 missions, I think, wasn't it? There we go. It's a bit too quick off the mark there. Let's press the button there again. And what you'll see is some reputation increase there. So reputation with the superpower is now going up to cordial. And reputation with the local faction is also cordial. So this is good, because it means I can actually access more of these missions. You can see there's one available there. So this is the one from Ceos to Sothis. I'm going to accept that, because these missions go both ways, which makes it that much easier. And look, there's quite a lot here, which is actually pretty handy. And you only want to take the ones again from the faction Federation Unite, because they are the federally controlled or federally associated faction. Okay, and there we go. That's all those missions handed in. And we got a bunch more to go back on the return trip to Sothis. Let's have a look over here. And we can see my rank is now 89% towards the first rank of Recruit. So once you've done that, you will get yourself, once that reaches 100%, it won't automatically roll over to the next rank. Instead, what you'll do is get offered a rank mission. And I'm not going to go into that just yet, because we're getting quite a way into this video. That's something I'll do at the start of the next video. But basically, it's a short little mission that will unlock the next rank for you. But in the meantime, you can still do these, because even though it won't show your rank progress towards the next rank, that will still be continuing on. So once you get 100% there, you can continue if you want, because once you do the rank up mission and that gets unlocked, you'll find yourself already a good chunk of the way towards the next rank. So I think that's where we'll leave it today. Not a bad place to leave off at. I'll return later on when we've got a bit further progress. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.